What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. I am back after a 2-video hiatus. Had to let the old intern be the star of the show. He was begging. He wanted to sound all smart and such, so I let him have 2 videos. But I'm back now. You can probably see it snowed this morning, last night. It's all wintry. But coming here today for a shelf tour, apartment book tour, 2025 book tour. I moved this past year. I got a new setup. I don't think I've showed any of my books so far. But before we get into that, I wanted to let you guys know I started up a Substack. It's free. It's free, but it is private, so you can't see it unless you're subscribed. Since I deleted Goodreads, I needed a place to put all my book reviews, and additionally, my fiction writing and other nonfiction writing. I have a lot of content that is unpublished. So I thought I would start up a Substack. I'm not going to be pushing any newsletters, I don't think. I'm not going to be pinging you. But it will be something that I will link to in all my videos, or I will try to, especially with new content. But you got to be on it to see it. You can't just view it. So take a subscribe to that one if you'd like. So yeah, now I'll go through. I got a few shelves here, and then I got a desk, and then another shelf in the back. All right, so first of all, you got big shelf number 1. It's my main shelf, mostly nonfiction. Then little lamp shelf as well. So to get in close, approach these bad boys. This top shelf, llama. Other than the llama, this is mostly like broad sweeping histories and a few science books as well. Bynum's Little History of Science, got some Neil Tyson. I just read this book a week or 2 ago. I didn't like it so much. I'm not in a hurry. But yeah, the rest is mostly history, like History of the Modern World, Silk Roads, Guns, Germs, and Steel, Sapiens, Humankind. These are huge historical, anthropological, political, how Europe underdeveloped Africa, the history of Latin America. Really interested in all of these, but I haven't read any except for History of the Modern World, which was great, but it's also a dry and dense textbook. It's not really a book. Going down low to the second shelf, got a little strange looking Buddha. This is the psychology / self-help shelf. I don't know what digital minimalism is doing here, but it's there. The rest of these got some psychology, like The Psychology of Evil, some Malcolm Gladwell books, some self-help, Psychology of Money, it's finance. Man's Search for Meaning, great. World War II psychology. Got a few Adam Grant books. I really liked Think Again. And Super Communicators by Duhigg was solid. I forget what this book is, but my Kindle's on top of it. Going down low, or not low, lowish, middle. On the left is epic poetry of the ancient variety. Up top, got Juvenal. Guy's great, super funny. Haven't read Ovid, but I've read some excerpts. I'm not sure I would like Ovid, but he seems to be a quirky guy. Then the rest is pretty much just translations of Iliad and Odyssey. Got the Aeneid thrown in, and Hesiod as well. Hesiod is solid. I haven't read Homer in totality, so I won't comment. But yeah, so that's ancient epics. We got a few more modern epics here. Milton, Dante, Chaucer. I have not finished any of these as of yet, but they are the verse translations, I think. Then going to the right, we got poetry. What is this? Oh yeah, American poems. These are pretty solid. I read most of them. Who else do we got? Whitman, Dickinson, Keats. I haven't read any of these. The Wasteland and Other Poems by Eliot is great. These are William Wordsworth selected poems. 101 Famous Poems by Roy J. Cook is great. Nizar Kabani love poems. They're solid, pretty short. Irish poems, a history of all Irish poetry. I've barely read this. It seems like a neat work, though. And then Mark Strand collected poems. He's my favorite poet, probably. He's contemporary. It's really simple but deep. I really recommend Strand. All right. Next shelf, we got ancient Rome and ancient Greece. This is a mix of philosophy and history. You mainly got the philosophy works right here. I've had most of these for a while, but I picked up some Plato recently, Phaedrus, Republic, and some more dialogues. I do want to read Republic this year. Quote me on that. Okay. More dialogues. This one I picked up at the used bookstore. It is incredibly annotated, so I'm interested to see what this person says. On the left, we got some more history. I read this biography of Marcus Aurelius this year, or last year. It was solid. Provides good context for meditations and the people that Marcus Aurelius worked and lived with. Then we got some more history books. It looks kind of slanted. Maybe that's my phone. I've had most of these for a while. The new ones are The Roman Way by Edith Hamilton, who wrote Mythology, and a couple of Livy's histories. I think it's like books 1 through 10. All right. And last of the main shelf is my religion/Catholicism. It's bookended by the Catechism and the Bible. I've got a lot of good thinkers here. There's John Paul II, St. Augustine, Francis de Sales, Thomas Kempis, Pope Benedict. I've read some of these books. I won't go into them. There's a lot of them, but maybe you can see what they say here. Next up, we got the lamp shelf. So we got top lamp shelf and bottom. Top is my work, my nonfiction books on artists, authors or poets or painters. This top book I read recently, Daily Rituals by Mason Curry. It's like 150 or so daily routines of the most famous artists in history. It's really interesting to see how varied these folks were and what they did, how they lived their lives and how they worked. So I might do a video on that soon. The rest I haven't read. We got Vasari, Lives of the Artists. This is a 4-person biography. Flannery O'Connor and some other people. Ted Hughes, T.S. Eliot, and Oscar Wilde. And finally, this is a mishmash of books on reading, writing, criticism, poetics, linguistics, style. I've read some of pretty much all of these books. I don't have much to say. I think it's useful to have books like this on your shelf just for reference or to poke through every once in a while. Shout out my man Ray Bradbury. This guy's great. But yeah, so that's the lamp shelf. Here you got some vinyls, letter writing, Victrola. I have vinyl, CD, cassettes. This thing's a pretty cool machine. This is a fantastic album. And it's got Julia Roberts on it. All right, over to the desk. I have a few books on the desk. I just finished this, Hemingway. Solid work. I think it was better than Old Man and the Sea. It's my second Hemingway. Might do a video, I don't know. Lamp. So right here on the left side are my reference books. I've got a atlas for geography, the Penguin Classics book for reference in literature and any famous book. Roget's Thesaurus, a book of poetry. Michael Grant's Guide to the Ancient World. It's basically an encyclopedia of ancient world places. Pocket Dictionary, a couple of books of illusion, supplies. These are some contemporary books I've read recently. I just finished If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. That was amazing. Was it amazing? It was great. I really liked it. Here's some Barnes & Noble things. Show you those. Bullfinch. Here on the right, we got Mythology, inspired by Joseph Campbell's Power of Myth, which is a set of interviews he did, but he gets really into what mythology is and why we have mythology in the world. It was kind of complex, so I'd like to read a little more myth before getting back into Campbell. We've got African myth, Mesopotamian myth, Irish myth. Next, these are books that I have interest in right now or have interest in their genre. Got Matthew B. Crawford, like him. A book on Uber. Some Michael Pollan books. This is my most recent purchase. Invisible Doctrine, The Secret History of Neoliberalism by Monbiot and Hutchison. Interested to see what they go into. We got some more supplies and something I got for Christmas, the American Heritage Dictionary. It's some sort of special edition where they just updated it and added like 50,000 words or 5,000. I don't know. But I think this is a great dictionary. It's got solid etymology and it's got pictures. But yeah, it's my first big boy dictionary. So yeah, like this. Don't look at the floor. Okay, last up, we got this shelf in the corner. It's some different genres and collections. Up top, Tolkien. I've only read the first two, but have to own Tolkien. It's just a staple of the library. Next shelf, these are ancient plays, Greek and Roman. I've read some Aeschylus and Sophocles. I really like them. Euripides I've read, but not this book. I wasn't a huge fan of Euripides, but I'm willing to give him another shot. And then Terence as well. But he was heavily inspired by the Greek tragedians. So I'd like to read all the Greeks first, before getting into Terence and Plautus and Seneca. This next shelf, more contemporary philosophy. I haven't read any of these books except for Bertrand Russell's Problems of Philosophy. It was touted as like an introduction to philosophy, but I thought it was really dense and confusing, so I didn't like the book at all. Next up, we got dystopian fiction. I love dystopian. I've read all of them except for Brave New World. Somehow, I don't know how. But yeah, these are great. The only one that's not so great is Running Man, but it's a solid book. It's fun. It's old school Stephen King. So, yeah. This is more contemporary plays. Who do we got? Oscar Wilde, Tennessee Williams, Henrik Ibsen, George Bernard Shaw, Arthur Miller, and Robert Bolt. I've read all of these except for Death of a Salesman and Man for All Seasons. But yeah, reading plays is just a fun change of pace, and they're usually great, even in written form. I'd like to go see more plays, but it's hard to make time. And the last shelf is science fiction. Got Arthur C. Clarke, Ender's Game, Philip K. Dick, Ray Bradbury, and Dune. My favorite book. This is also great. And this one. And this one. More Clarke. But yeah. That's that shelf. Thanks for watching. That was my small apartment and all the bookshelves. Don't look at the books on the floor. I live alone. It's okay. But yeah, please consider subscribing to my Substack if you want to see all my hidden writings that you can't see unless you subscribe. And thanks for watching this video. Leave a comment if you like or hate any of the books on my shelf, or if you have recommendations based on what I own on anything I should pursue further. I would love to fight in the comments as usual. But yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Enjoy the snow if you live in a snow area. And I'll see you in the next video.